But something else I've noticed about you is your level of confidence. Like you just seem really comfortable in your skin, which you mentioned authenticity earlier. It gives you the ability to be more authentic because you are comfortable in your own skin. Um, so I did want to kind of find out where that comes from for you and how you develop your level of confidence. Even like trusting your instincts when you're making difficult decisions, right? How do you build the confidence to be able to do those things and trust yourself?
That's um I think confidence comes with seeing others and seeing mistakes being made and trying to be the person that will speak up and try to, have confidence enough to make decisions and to hold myself accountable because I know the company and the let's say the bosses will. I think confidence it's not something that you're born with. I think it comes with, let's say, repetition and practice and experience. And happy to say when you say that I have a high level of confidence, I think, in my brain, that's not what's going on. Confidence is not what's brewing in my brain, but it might come across that way, which is great. So I would say, it comes from repetition, from doing it, and it's not that I have a high level of confidence. I think that maybe it's more how it gets portrayed and how it comes out.
Okay.
But that's great, and it seems to work for me. But a lot of it, confidence is built through experience and through seeing others go through that decision making process, or making wrong decisions sometimes also builds confidence. So I just it has come over time.
Okay. Is there a particular, and I hate to use this word, I was going to say failure, um,
Mhm.
a particular failure or lesson that really helped you build confidence, like the lesson that you took from it helped you increase your confidence?
Um, for me, there's been many, a project that's not been successful. I hate to say failure, but we've had some unsuccessful projects over the years, and
Yeah.
and when those things happen, for me, the biggest piece, and I think it's like with anything, it's the learning that drives more, that helps you make it successful.
Yeah.
And everyone says, fail fast, fail often. I think, the doing it for the sake of doing it is not always the approach, right? You want to be successful more often than not. And I think as our track record as a company and as a IT team over the years, I'm pretty proud of the successes we've had, but also proud of a few of the, let's say, the fails we've had, right? And we've had a few. And usually most of those failures for us has been, and I don't even consider these failures per se, but over budget or missing a deadline. And for the most part, when those things happen, it's how you, let's say, pick up the pieces and make it right is more important than thinking, than the fail or the issue that's occurred.
Okay.
And I pride myself. I think we've got a great team that's really focused on when there's an issue or there's a hurdle that we've got to come across that could put a bump in our road in front of us, that we know how to pivot, adjust, communicate, and get everybody kind of on board with any changes that we might need to make to avoid that failure.
Okay.
You know,
You think being too afraid to fail and trying to be too perfect can kind of shoot you in the foot or backfire at times?
no, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
It
You're
doesn't,
always striving for perfection, that core
yeah,
value.
yeah, striving for perfection, but it's success breeds success. And I think if you look at us as an organization, we've had lots of successes, and we obviously have also had our series of incidents and issues, but we've been able to overcome many of those. And I think the team always has to come out feeling proud of the success
Yeah.
and not looking back and just focusing on the failure part of the initiative.
Yeah. I would say maybe one risk of the perfection is if you don't act, if you get kind of caught up in the
Oh, sure.
analysis and trying to figure out what to do, at a certain point you have to make a decision
Hmm.
and move forward. That's something I've learned because I'm,
Hmm.
highly analytical and definitely a perfectionist. At a certain point you have to go and then you can you can recover from some mistakes. Certain
Yeah.
mistakes, maybe not, but like you said, you learn from them and you move forward, right?
Yes. You have to.
Yeah. Was there ever a time that you doubted yourself significantly, and how did you overcome that?
I think for me in my career, and this is going back a ways, let's say when I first started, I struggled and doubted myself when it came to public speaking and being in front of large audiences.
Oh, that's surprising.
And I've gotten better at it. I've gotten better at
Okay.
it. I did public speaking, not course, yeah, courses, let's say, and public speaking groups that I've been a part of over the years. I still say probably way too much, but I've learned over time that for me, and everybody has their own style, especially, the fear of public speaking is to each individual, how they overcome that is very different. For me, practice does not make perfect. For me, practice a little bit and go do it is better than I'll say lots of practice and stress the day or nights before and then trying to make it perfect. I'm much more of a you know, learn and speak and say what's on my mind, which I think
Yeah.
is more appreciated than very, let's say, rehearsed
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
of presentations. And that's just my style, and it seems to work okay for me. But I know that's every individual does it differently.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I think that probably works in your favor. First of all, to find out that you had challenges with public speaking, for me in particular, is a relief to me. It gives me a lot of confidence, or not, sorry, hope, not confidence. It gives me a lot of hope that I can, improve and come across like I'm confident too. Because I'm like, I would never have guessed that you struggle with that at all.
You want to hear a funny story? So early on in my career, I worked for PeopleSoft. And one of my big projects or big parts of my job at the time was starting a group called the Upgrade Lab. So we were automating the PeopleSoft upgrade process without and making it faster and having to do the full thing at client site and doing it remote. And we built this incredible process that did everything kind of behind the scenes and was really innovative for the time. And I think I was probably 25, maybe 26 at the time. And I was working for this one leader that was, very, very much a great public speaker. He always was able to get people on board and motivated and ready to go. And he was presenting at our annual conference. And the people saw, and I was in the company maybe a year at that point. So, but I didn't realize how big the conference was. And the conference is, there's 10 to 15,000 people at the conference. And he was charged with not implementing, with speaking about this great technology that we had built together. And on the conference, I think was on a Thursday through Saturday. And on Monday, he was sick. On Tuesday, he was sick again. And he called me and he asked, "Hey, can you fly out to the conference and do my presentation for me?"
Oh,
And I
wow.
said, okay, I'll do a presentation for me. I didn't know what I was signing up for. He sent me the slides at the time and, took a look at them. We reviewed it a couple of times. I said, sure, I'll go out there and do it. Thank God he didn't tell me how big the audience was because I get there the night before the opening keynote and nobody had told me that it was keynote with the CEO and over 10,000 people in the audience,
No
followed
way.
by three presentations, and I was one of those three. And I did it. It was one of those. Thank God they didn't tell me until that morning of, because I think I wouldn't have gotten any sleep that night before. But I got in front of all those people and had my face on the big screen, and it was quite something. And I think I think nobody asked, what's that young kid doing out there on stage talking about this great upgrade process, but it was quite an experience, and I learned a lot from that. And that was one of those moments where I said, I got to get better at public speaking, and I went and started doing some extra practice.
Okay. Okay. Wow. That would have made me sick. Like he was sick, but if I
Yeah,
found out that I had to do that, but you didn't have all the information, I think that actually worked in your favor, right? Because
it
had
worked
you
in my
known,
favor.
yeah,
Yes. Not
yeah,
knowing was actually good. I think he did that on purpose.
yeah, that's good. That's a great story. Wow. So now I have hope. I'm staying the course
That's
because I shied away from any type of public speaking for a very, very long
we'll
time.
get you in front of 10,000 people in no time. Let's do
Not too fast, Alan. Not too fast.
it.
So we talked about your confidence, but what about confidence in one of your team members? So have you ever identified someone who was struggling with their confidence on your team, and how did you help them navigate through it?
Yeah, definitely. I think confidence in the space of technology is back to a bit of the discussion we had around presentation skills and getting in front of people. I think a lot of new leaders within technology sometimes struggle with having the confidence to speak up in front of other people and in front of certain audiences. And I think that's something that comes with experience as well. But I often have had discussions with uh, raising leaders and high potential employees, and really having discussions around what do you think about this topic? Sometimes within the meeting, bringing them out, pulling the intelligence out of them, but even sometimes afterwards, right? I have a feeling you've got some great ideas, and but you're not just putting them out for the group. Can you let's talk about it and see how we can get in front of the right people and really kind of building that confidence of getting in front of people. And frankly, and very much generalizing a bit here, but in IT, that tends to be a limiting factor for people that are hesitant to be the one to speak in a meeting where maybe the senior leaders or the kind of the higher ups might be in that meeting, so they shy away from speaking. But I think the best thing is to actually get yourself out there
Yeah,
to speak and give your input and give your opinion, even if it's not the answer or the decision that gets taken go forward. Having a contribution goes a long way to being remembered, being recognized, and acknowledge that that you were there to participate and you gave your your opinion and your peace of mind. And I think that's something that I've seen with several employees over the years, and had different levels of success at pulling them out of their, let's say, their quiet shells.
yeah,
And it really varies by person, and how you do that and how you help them grow, let's say, really varies by person. Some people like to be pulled into a conversation in front of everybody and help them get themselves out there, and some people prefer, hey, don't put me on the spot, help me, let's do it offline, and then I'll be prepared for the next one. So you
yeah.
really have to build confidence in employees through individualized approach, not the same approach for everybody.
No one size fits all.
No
Yeah,
one size fits all.
yeah. And I like what you said early on. You talked about talking to the person one on one,
Hmm.
and you maybe sharing that you're confident in it, right? That hey, I think you've got something good here. You've got some good ideas. That would boost my confidence. So I think
Yeah,
that helps is you sharing that with them, and then
definitely.
encouraging them to step out there. But I think you're right though. Like eventually, you just have to do it
Yeah,
because I know in my own experience, you can practice and rehearse and analyze and think about it. There's no amount of preparation that's gonna completely take away those nerves until you actually do it.
that's right.
Yeah, that's been the best lesson.